Welcome to Shop Bought vs Homemade episode 4. In this series, we'll be comparing pre-packaged, pre-made supermarket foods to the homemade equivalent, looking at ingredients, taste and price, and seeing which one comes out on top. Today, by request, we're looking at lasagna. Homemade lasagna is a labour of love, but not as difficult as you might think. We start by making the pasta. We combine egg yolks and flour, knead and rest and roll into thin sheets. To make the ragu, we chop onions, garlic, carrots and celery. We heat some oil in a pan, cook onion until soft, add garlic, then carrots and celery, pancetta, then minced beef, seasoning as we go. When this is brown, we add some red wine, then tomato puree and a bit of sugar. We add the passata and a bit of chicken stock, and then simmer for about 30 minutes until the sauce is thickened and is nice and rich. Then we add a splash of balsamic to finish. To make the bechamel, we melt 50 grams of butter, then we add 50 grams of flour to make a roux. We cook this down, then slowly add 500 grams of milk, stirring as we go. When thick, we grate in some nutmeg. To assemble, we place a layer of ragu, followed by a layer of pasta, bechamel, and then cover in grated cheddar and parmesan, and repeat. The supermarket lasagna contains by and large the same ingredients, so you would think we might end up with similar results. We cook both lasagnas in the oven at 180°C for 30 minutes. When finished, we can quite drastically see the difference. The homemade lasagna is lovely and crispy and the cheese is melted and browned. The shop bought one also has some browning of the cheese, but it's sagging into the middle of the dish. As we cut them open, we see we lose all the cheese from the shop bought lasagna, leaving us with a sad top layer of pasta. The homemade one's a big boy, and you can see the top maintains its crispy integrity as we serve it up. As we can see, the homemade ragus are much richer red and the top is much crispier. But the taste is what matters. The shop bought one's okay. It's very comforting and you could eat it by the bucket load, but it's not exactly got much flavour or texture. The pasta's a bit soft and slimy and there's not much cheesiness on top. Probably a 6 out of 10. The homemade lasagna is great. A really rich tomato sauce which still has a lovely fresh flavour to it. You get really nice moist meat and the crunchy cheese top, and then the delicious al dente pasta in between the layers. Price wise, the homemade wins hands down at just over £2 for a portion compared to £4.25 for the shop bought one. Obviously the homemade lasagna does take time. It's probably 80 minutes of work before it goes in the oven, but if you have the time it's well worth it. Not only is it delicious and cheaper than the supermarket, you get such a great sense of satisfaction making a lasagna from scratch. Be sure to follow and let me know which shop bought food I should do next.